There's a 5th grade student in Florida who was just arrested over the weekend and charged with sending a text message threatening to carry out a mass shooting. This right here is just, it's so incredibly unfortunate. It happened at this Patriot Elementary School. Now, when the messages were discovered, school officials immediately notified the police and they started investigating. The 10-year-old boy was interviewed and charged later with making a written threat to conduct a mass shooting. And that's what led police into, that led him into the police vehicle. Now, authorities are right to be alarmed, since the mass shooting at Uvalde, Texas. What we've seen is that at least 15 mass shootings have taken place across the United States since last Tuesday, from California to Arizona to Tennessee. This Memorial Day weekend alone, spanning Saturday, Sunday, and the federal holiday on Monday, there have been at least 12 mass shootings. That's per the Washington Post. What more they said is that the Gun Violence Archive, that's a nonprofit research organization, defines a mass shooting as one in which 4 or more people are shot or killed, not including the shooter. Several of those shootings occurred at parties and one at a Memorial Day event. At least 8 people have been killed and 55 injured in the mass shooting over the holiday weekend, according to GVA and local news sources. Since the Uvalde shooting last Tuesday, at least 11 people have been killed, 67 injured in mass shootings. This tells you a lot about our nation and our gun problem and the fact that we're not getting any change. Now, here's some details on some of those shootings over the weekend. So on Saturday evening, 6 teens were injured by gunfire in Chattanooga, Tennessee, in what Mayor Tim Kelly said was probably an altercation between other teenagers. The victims, who were between the ages of 13 and 15, were transported to the hospital. 2 had life-threatening injuries, according to the Chattanooga Police Department. Sunday, it was at least another 5 mass shootings, including one at a Memorial Day festival in Taft, Oklahoma. Authorities said 1 person was killed, 7 people were injured, including a minor. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation said a suspect turned himself in and was in custody. Friday afternoon, Michigan, officers in Mecosta County found 3 children under the age of 10 and a woman dead of apparent gunshot wounds when they responded to a report of a man with a gun and shots fired at a private residence. They also found a man with a gunshot wound to the head who was taken to a hospital. Relatives told a local news outlet that the children were siblings and were 3, 4, and 6 years old, and that the woman was their mother. When will this stop? And it's not going to stop anytime soon, I can guarantee it, unless legislature or lawmakers do something. Because as much as these firearms seem to fill the coffers of gun manufacturers and the NRA, they aren't doing anything but putting us in coffins. Jackson.
And the unfortunate thing is that mass shootings happen so much in this country and that they've been happening so often for so long that it's easy for the public attention to shift to other things because we're also dealing with so many other issues. So the fact that mass shootings happen so much is actually some of what allows gun manufacturers to keep making their money because it's overwhelming for people. Until the shootings happened in Buffalo, public attention to mass shootings really was lower than it had been because, again, we were focused on abortion rights and all those other issues dealing with the Biden administration. And the fact that a 10-year-old had to be arrested and charged just really goes to show the shame that our law enforcement all over the country has to be ready and prepared for these types of things at all times. So exactly like you said, until legislation is passed, this is going to be an issue that can't be stopped.